bad guess, but it's bananas.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ken's Counseling Couch. I am your host, Ken Jennings. It's nice to see everyone again after a absence there for a bit. I know it's been a couple weeks, and I'm streaming outside of my normal time, so I hope everyone will bear with the adjustments here. Again, I do apologize for any change. I know everyone's used to more of a morning, early afternoon stream, but today we're going to go ahead and finish the Sophie long video review. I know that was a very difficult video to start to watch and not necessarily easy to watch and process. Not only as a person, as a therapist, it's difficult to watch. If I'm a little bit not as animated today, or autistic with my screen drawings, my wife's home, and so I can't yell and scream, so I'm trying to be polite while I do my stream, and she's doing her stuff tonight. And two, my second monitor that allows me to put stuff up and draw on the screen, the cable or whatever, decided to stop fucking working too, so there's that issue as well. So no autistic drawing and scribbling on the screen today, but we'll make do. I'll be ordering a new one on payday, which is in like 2 days. But outside of that, and my slight issue with car parts, apparently a side marker pigtail for my car for the wiring harness is like $50 to connect to the headlight. Just for the one. And there's 3 different connectors. And I already spent $100 or more on the replacement headlight after my tire decided to explode and the tread go up into the... so the tread came off my tire, shot right up and took out my headlight, which was fun. So I had to deal with that. And then so I had to replace the headlight, replace the headlight, I have to replace all 3 pieces of the wiring harness that go to the headlight because they got ripped off too whenever the tread came off. And each one of those is stupid expensive. So all in all, I'm like $200 on just replacing one headlight. Thankfully, that was the most of the damage. It shifted one of the quarter panels on the passenger side, and then I have to go to Discount Tire and bitch about my tire and why the tread just decided to come the fuck off. But that's a whole nother day, a whole nother story. Needless to say, I've been frustrated, stuck at home, because that's my only working vehicle, not legally allowed to drive, so I've been doing all my work remotely. It's been a fun adjustment. So being cooped up in the house, getting food delivered and shit, because the stress is too much for my wife as far as her anxiety to kind of go anywhere. And she's worried about getting a ticket and stuff. And in an effort to keep her anxiety down, we chose not to drive and not to leave the house much unless necessary. So there's that. But so today we're going to finish up the Sophie video. And then anything else that might, come across the table. I don't plan on doing a super long stream, maybe a couple hours. But yeah. Also, nice to see everyone. Godzilla, Shadow King, Magnus, 𝐒𝐶𝐵. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I've never had a tire fail just like that. That was a new one for me. So, I'm trying to see where I left off on the Sophie video. So, bear with me as I kind of figure that out. I have a rough idea about where I was. I think it was about 10 minutes in. It's like 9 or 10 minutes in, so we'll start around the 9-minute mark. Call about the halfway point. And so we'll start there. So we'll jump right into this tonight. Depending on my schedule, which I haven't looked at for tomorrow, I might do a stream in the morning because I'm trying to stay on my Sunday, Monday schedule for streaming to at least stay on that. I wanted to do something today because I know I was off last week because of all the shit I've been dealing with my car and stuff. say? So the last part, we saw our grandmother trying to drag her up by the legs. Okay, so let me bring this up on screen. So I'm going to share the screen here. And we're going to try and find this together. So grandma's trying to drag her out of the car. Was that near the end? We didn't watch the whole video, did we? Let's go back. Is it right about here? I think it was right about here. So I think I was on the 7-minute mark. Also, I think I didn't. I have to reshare the screen because I don't think I shared I forgot to share audio. That was part of the problem. So let's try this again. Round 2. All right, here we go. So let's check this out again. Let me get a good level of zoom in. Can I zoom in further on this? Oh, way too much. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm ready for that's what I expect anytime I watch this video. So let's start around the 7-minute mark here. I'm gonna throw closed captioning on, and I think, can I do that? Ah, damn it. So in order to keep an eye on chat, because I'm down to one screen, I have to do this way. So please bear with the issues here as we try to get this figured out. Okay, I think that'll work. Let me zoom out one. Let me zoom out one more. So I'm gonna hit play. Let me know if the audio works or not, and we'll get going. So I'm gonna hit play around 7 minutes. That right there was interesting. They are insinuating, or at least Sophie's picking up on the insinuation that Daddy did something, which means that either Mom or Grandma or someone has given her the idea that Daddy did something. It's not Daddy, as we've all come to learn at this point, right? Definitely not Daddy. Someone else, not Daddy. Some awful fucking people, not Daddy. But let's continue. We love Sophie calling her out right there. If it's not obvious at this point, Sophie's overwhelmed with emotion, right? That's, if you notice, she'll go from, and as I click back and forth, the video will, oh, god damn it. Okay, I see. Okay, let me go back. Let me go back. God damn it. I hate having one monitor to do this. I'm just doing this off my laptop screen. So, God damn it. So let's try this. I think I need to do, so stop screen, so share screen. All right. All right, I'm going to try it now. So I'm going to hit play. And I gonna do this, so it's going to look a little smaller just so I can keep an eye on chat. All right, can I do that? There we go. Yes. So it's going to look a little smaller, but this way I can keep an eye on chat. So I'm going to hit play. Let me know if it's working now. Are we still not getting anything? Okay. I think I know what's doing it. So it's the StreamYards thing. It's because of how StreamYards works. So let me try this again. I just have to, let me make sure I don't have anything open that I can pull up that's going to dox my name or anything. Because I have to share my entire screen versus sharing just a window. So that's the deal, is I just have to make sure I don't fuck that part up. So let's do that. Is there no way to... God damn it. Oh, wait, here we go. I think I got a way now. Here we go. Okay, I've got to figure it out now. Let's try this for the third time. Okay, I think we've got it now. Perfect. Let me just do one more thing. Let me sign out real quick. There we go. All right. God damn it. There we go. Now I think it's working. Okay. Now we're working. Thank you. Jesus Christ. All right, now let's try this again.
Yahtzee, we did all kinds of stuff. What happened?
Nothing.
Something.
All right, we're going
No.
again with this.
Then I had no. I
Again, keep me updated on whether it's working or not.
Why?
because I don't want to be here anymore.
Why not go?
Okay, thank God it's
You don't
working.
want to
Are
be
you
where?
doing this?
You don't want to be where?
I am smart. I know why you're doing this.
What are we doing? I'm just talking to you.
Perfect.
No, I know you think Daddy did something. No, he didn't.
I never said anything about your dad.
Well, that's how it seems. Come down to me. Well, that's how you're acting.
Sophie, you're allowed to spend time.
I know. And I don't want to.
But I'm just trying to understand why, because we had really, really lots of fun, and it was just a couple months ago. So I'm just trying to understand why you don't want to spend grandma
Well, I
time.
would have come if you just let me come peacefully, but you didn't. You tried to pull me out of the car.
No, you
I love how she calls grandma out there. You tried to pull me out of the car because I don't want to go with you.
Well, I don't want to come.
Sophie, we love you very much.
I do
just
too,
wanna
but I
spend
don't
time
want to
with you.
come.
Can you help me understand why?
I don't want to come.
But why?
This is where I was saying she's overwhelmed with her emotions. She's trying to communicate with the language and the words she knows how to.
Well, I can tell.
And when she
I'm
can't
smart.
get
I
it
can
out,
tell
when it's not
how
connecting to the
you're
people she's
acting,
trying to
and
talk
I can
to,
tell what you mean.
it's too much. It's too much
Yeah, so
to
you
process, right? You just want to be heard and you're not being heard. And when you're this old, when you're 9 years old,
Tell what, baby?
it's too much to understand.
just, I have a choice, and I choose that I'm not ready to come.
That's not your choice, baby.
I am my own person, and I can choose what I want to. And I'm going to, and I'm not coming.
Unfortunately, that's not.
Real quick, Colonel Crayon says it's kind of like an autistic child having a sensory. It is in a way almost, right? It's any person can have that kind of sensory overload, right? You have so much, and it's not so much a sensory overload, as it's an emotional overload. Think of the fear think of the scariest thing you've ever gone through. Think of the most dangerous encounter you've ever been in, right? Something like that. That just pushed every emotion you have to the forefront. Take that and condense it down to 20 minutes, right? And try to communicate how the reasons why you want to go without communicating who's at fault. You can't really say who's responsible. You can't say it's mommy's boyfriend, or as we said earlier, it is mommy's boyfriend, or she's going to have someone else over. But we don't say specifically that's what's going on. We don't want to go. You don't want to go to this place. You don't want to have this person talk to you. You don't want to have these things happen to you. And the people you're trying to get help from are not listening. They don't care. It's too much for a 9-year-old. It's too much for a 20-year-old. It's too much for a 30-year-old. It's too much for a 50-year-old. Unless you know how to deal with those emotions and you've dealt with them enough to process them, you're going to encounter this type of fear, this type of stress. It's not uncommon. It's a horrible thing to watch this child go through, right? It's awful. I hate that we're watching this video. I hate that I have to watch this video. I hate that this child had to suffer like this. It pisses me off to no end. It pisses me off to no end the court drug this family through the mud, that not only did they get drugged through the mud in such horrible ways, now we have no idea what goes on. I have access to like 100 PDF files of what happened up until the point I got the records requested, right? Up until then, nothing else. Up after that, I have no other records really. They closed the case to the public pretty much right after that. So anything else that's available is not open to disclosure. This is something that should not be hidden behind closed doors. This is awful. No family should have to endure this. Ever. No kid should have to endure this. This is one of the reasons why I've had the discussions with, Dollhouse Phil and Drexel and Tim and them on this topic, on ways to help reduce it, and why those controversial ideas might be the way to help save kids from this kind of torture, because it could be more effective in the long run. That's why I will promote shit like that. That's why I'll think of these ideas and be open to them, because I don't want to see another child go through this. It's an awful thing to watch. It's an awful thing to be on the receiving end of. Not only as the kid, but as the family who has to deal with the fallout. But let's go ahead and pick up the video. So.
Well, too bad, so sad, I'm not coming.
I'm just trying to understand why.
We're really concerned about you, Sophie.
Well, I can tell you one thing that you shouldn't be concerned about, because everything's fine. I'm happy.
I believe you're happy. A happy kid can spend time with both of her parents, right?
Well, not when you're trying to pull me out of the car.
Come here, look.
No.
Come out on your own then.
No, you already did it.
So do you want to come or not want to come?
I do not want to come.
Okay, and why again?
Please, stop.
Hey, Sophie, it's not appropriate to speak to your parents like that. I wouldn't allow you to talk to your father like that.
Well, I don't, because he doesn't try to pull me out of the car when I'm sitting in the car with you.
Hey, Sophie, that's because I let you down.
He does too.
Okay, then get out.
But I'm not going out. Okay, I don't care if I have to sleep here. I'm not going. I'm not going to sleep either. I'm staying here and I'm not going.
Yeah, Shadow King, they are throwing shade at the dad quite a bit.
I'm not going. Well, nothing has happened. I finally decided I can speak up and say that I'm not going.
Bravo, Sophie. I just wish that you were given the opportunity to choose. The court, unfortunately,
And
will
I
not allow you.
know,
That's fine, Sophie. That's
in
your
case
choice.
you
This is
wanted
your
to
choice.
know.
I'm just letting you know that it's not going to be your choice for very much longer.
I'm not going.
It's actually
Did you
not
hear
your
the way
choice
that they just
now.
talked down to her right there? It's not going to be your
I'm
choice
not
for very much
going.
longer.
Hey, Sophie, I love you very much. I'm really concerned about you, and I just want to spend some time with you.
Well, I'm going to tell you this again. You shouldn't be.
I'm your mom. That's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to love you.
I still worry about my daughters, all of them, and my son.
Well,
I wouldn't be a very good mom if I didn't worry about you.
well, good thing I'm sitting right here to tell you that there's nothing wrong. I'm happy, and you don't need to be concerned about me.
Remember all the fun we had? All the
I
walks?
love how the grandma's like, all the fun we had. I don't give a shit about your fun, Grandma.
We would go with the boys and they would go play and we would sit for our walks and talks.
No one cares about your fun,
Remember
Grandma.
that? We used to look forward to that.
We can have a play date.
I tried that and then you wouldn't come for my play date.
What do you mean I wouldn't come for your play date?
I stopped out the next day. You said we could have a play date and you said not today, maybe another time.
No, I don't want to have a sleepover. I want to have a play date.
That's all that was going to be.
I didn't know that.
Notice that there too? I missed that before. I want to have a play date. I don't want to have a sleepover. I wonder why she doesn't have a sleepover. That's a very specific thing. I'm okay with hanging out during the daytime. But I don't want to be there at night because I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be vulnerable. Because going to sleep means you're vulnerable, right? You can't guarantee what happens to you while you're asleep, right? It's another one of those pesky things that come with being a child, right? When you go to sleep, everyone else is asleep. You don't have a guarantee of what's going to happen to you when you go to sleep. You don't know if you're going to wake up and be just fine or if you're going to wake up and be on the end of something like that, right? Pretty shitty. And yeah, normally they are interchangeable, Shadow King. And the grandma's desire to just care about the fun. It's so much fun. Do you think she cares about fun at all right now? It's not about fun. This isn't a, I'm not having fun, I don't want to go. This is a primal survival, I don't want to go. I don't want to go and suffer the horrible things. You know? And a play date and sleepover can be interchangeable. It depends, like most things, it depends on what your family defines as a play date, what your family defines as a sleepover. Sleepover could be like an afternoon, evening thing. Some people, it's a whole weekend deal. Everyone's family is different. But the grandma's more focused on, like 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝐿 saying, is trying to bribe. It's a bribe almost. Like, think of all the fun you'll have at grandma's house and at mommy's house. It'll be so much fun while you're over here. The issue isn't fun. It's not coming down to fun. And either grandma's stupid, delirious, or an idiot. Or maybe I'm, repeating myself there. She could be all three, or all two, depending on how you define it, right? She's oblivious, right? She doesn't seem to care, or she doesn't care. Or she's just missing it entirely. Like, and maybe she is missing it entirely. Maybe mom is missing it entirely. But I'm not seeing that. Like, it doesn't come off to me like they're missing it. It's either coming off to me as they don't care, or they're, they don't care, or they don't really think that what she's saying is true. But you also have to think about it too. If you change, if you change into mom's side for a moment, right? It's kind of like how does a parent think when they hear something like that? You don't want to think that your partner, that your boyfriend, that your girlfriend, that your husband, that your wife, whatever, it is. You don't want to think that they're doing this to your child. It's almost hard to believe, right? Many people will dismiss it outright. Like, there's no way. My husband wouldn't do that. My daughter wouldn't do that. My son wouldn't do that. Because remember, 35% of child sexual abuse is juvenile on juvenile sexual abuse. So another child in the household, or another child that knows the kid performing the abuse, right? That's a third, more than a third. So it's not always an adult. It could be your son, it could be your daughter, it could be your niece, your nephew that's underage doing it too. So it's not just about the adults in the household. So, and it's the same thing for like 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝐿 is, my kid can never be a bully. Yeah, all parents think that. Most parents will think that. They will always blame someone else. Because, and this is where you don't want to think your kid's lying, but you also don't want to think your partner or your husband or your wife is also the abuser. It's a catch-22, right? And then real quick off topic, Colonel Cran says, have you changed your mic setup? I can feel your silky smooth therapist voice massaging my eardrums. One, I'm talking kind of quiet tonight. Just in general, I have switched a few months ago. I bought a professionally sort of type broadcast microphone. It's a Zoom ZDM1. I use it combined with my Art Tube MP Project Series preamp and my PreSonus AudioBox USB 96 interface that I do all my audio with. I've used this for a while now. Maybe it's the way I have my settings set tonight. I don't know. That's a good question. Or maybe it's just the way I'm talking tonight. But the reason for the silky smooth massaging of your eardrums is you have climbed back onto my couch and you were enjoying the lovely dulcet tones of what we are doing, of discussing the awful situation of a child trying to describe her abuse to her parents and no one's listening. So maybe that's the reason. Also, as the DJG show is saying, hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. And if you like what you see, make sure you do check me out. Make sure you cash me outside. And you also follow me on locals. You can follow me on kenscounseling.couch.locals.com. You can also subscribe for a month for free using the code Sophie. So that's just from my last stream, the ending of my stream. So I stole it real quick to put that up there. Thank you, DJD Show. I appreciate the compliments. So let's pick this back up real quick and let's get this video finished up. As horrible as it is to watch, we really need to get through it.
Also, there's many times that you said something and then it didn't happen. So I could have been like so sleepy now.
Like what?
And also, I heard you say that you said that you need to go hit. But no, why don't anyone believe me? No one.
Well, you know what, Sophie? You're only 9 years old, and I know you think you know everything, but at 9 years old,
I never
still
said
have to
I don't know
listen to adults.
anything.
Fuck the grandma for that. Fuck the grandma for saying that. You think you know everything at 9 years old? No.
Mommy's, daddy's,
And
judges.
Sophie calls her out too. Good job, Sophie.
No,
You do. We as adults even have to listen to judges.
I do know that, but I am not going.
So we can go for our walks.
I very much agree with that, Shadow King. Very much agree with that.
You were so happy. Remember on the way down we stopped
That's
for a
because
special car?
I felt like I had to. Well, I'm happy with you, but no, not with Mommy.
Do you know why? Why? I can guarantee you.
Hold on. I need to rewind that because I need to make sure I heard that properly.
I can guarantee you nobody's gonna touch you. Why? I can guarantee you nobody's gonna touch you.
Yes, I'm a vegan. It's real life. Why don't you believe me?
What? You were
Why
awake?
don't you believe
Who's
me?
touching you?
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Wow. I need a minute to get myself together on that one. Oh my God. I forgot about that part. Wow. God damn it. I totally forgot about that. I want to reach through my screen and I want to choke this woman until she understands that this child is in so much fear and in so much pain that you guys aren't fucking listening to her. It's fucking awful to listen to this, man. I don't want to listen to this anymore. Right? She is breaking down now. She's literally going almost through the 5 stages of guilt or grief, right? In the way she's trying to convey this information. And I'm making a mental note right now because I'm going to try and boost the audio on this section of video. And I will have to come back to it another day to do because I'm gonna have to download it, cut it, and then listen to that section again, because it's too low to hear. I've got my audio on the video and on my headphones all the way up. Actually, I lied. I'm turning my headphones up a little bit more, and I'm going back to listen to that again, because I need to make sure I heard that right. That just... Okay, I think I heard that right now. I think I heard her feeling bad about herself. It almost sounded like she said when she's sleeping, she feels like something's touching her. I don't know if that's what I'm hearing. If anyone else hears that, let me know. If anyone else is hearing that, let me know, because I think that's what I'm hearing in this section here. If anyone else finds this video, it's around 1440, 1450 into it. I think that's what I heard. I think that's what I heard.
Yes, and the heat is really low. Why don't you know?
That right there. Grandma, I can guarantee you no one's touching you. How the hell do you know? Are you with the child 24/7? Are you staring at her while she's using the bathroom, while she's sleeping, while she's showering? How do you know? How do you know? How can you be so dismissive? And then watch as Sophie she breaks down immediately afterwards. She breaks down immediately afterwards. Not within a second or two after Grandma finishes that sentence. She loses her shit. Tell me this child's lying. Tell me this child's fucking lying. Tell me this child's lying. How? How is this fucking staged? How is this fucking... This is not. I have never seen a child cry for help so desperately and be not listened to. Oh, my blood's fucking boiling. And I'm not trying to get people to hear other things in this audio. Please listen to it on your own. Please come to your own conclusions. I'm just giving my opinion of it from my side. But that's what I'm hearing. And I'm trying not to cry right now, right? I'm an adult. And I'm trying not to lose my shit right now. And if I don't talk in the next 30 seconds after I hit play, it's because I'm trying not to cry. And I'm trying not to cry talking right now. Because this is so fucking depressing. This is so fucking sad to hear, right? I don't want to hit play. There's a part of me that wants to end the stream right now and not finish the next 4 minutes of this video. And I'm not even joking. That's how much I don't want to finish this video. Even though I've heard it before, I don't want to hear it again. Because this is like some of the things for me, when I remember or I think about or I have my own anxiety or PTSD issues that come up, it's like experiencing it all over again for the first time. To me, this is hitting me to the core. Just to listen to this child fucking cry. And you can tell she's not lying. You can tell she's hurting. And the people who were close to her don't care. They either don't care or they do care, but they just don't. I don't even think they care. I can't see how they care. How can you sit there and tell her, I guarantee you no one's touching you? If any child came to me and said that, professional or not, whether I'm a stupid civilian, never been in the military, no education, nothing, any child comes to me and says, I think someone's touching me and I'm sleeping at night, are the first words out of my mouth going to be, I guarantee you no one's touching you? Who says that? Who fucking says that? Who says that? And who can stand there and act like that to a child desperately crying for help? Look at her fucking face. Look, I can't. Look at this kid's face. Does this look like a face of someone who is fucking faking it? No. Okay, so again, I'm going to calm my shit down for a second. I'm going to hit play, and we're going to continue watching this video because we need to finish it. Here we go.
Believe me.
What? You were
Why
okay?
don't you believe
Who's touching you? That's okay. So who's touching you? No, I do want to know because I care about you. I do want to know. So who's touching you? Who's been touching you?
And mommy, what is it?
And what?
And mommy, what does it have? And it
What
always
does
makes
he
me
do
feel
to you?
bad about myself.
What is he? How does he touch
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Baby.
Mommy watches it happen. And it always makes me feel bad about myself. I know I heard that. I know I'm not hearing shit. I know that's what I heard. It's taking every ounce of me to not break everything that's next to me. That's how fucking difficult this is. God damn, this poor kid, man.
Like, touches it and scratches it. 'Cause one time I woke up and there was blood in my underwear.
Okay,
I'm telling you
okay.
the truth.
I'm not.
Underwear. Touches it and scratches it. 'Cause one time I woke up and there was blood in my underwear.
Because one time I woke up and there was blood in my underwear. Does anything about this child's demeanor sound like they're repeating a story? Does this child sound like they've been bribed? That they've been told to tell a story? This is not how a child would repeat a story. Not to my understanding, not to my knowledge. The only way they could be falsifying this would be is if they were like ingrained with this information, right? Like they had been beaten to recall this in such a way that they were brainwashed effectively to be this bought into it. And again, false recollections or accounts from a child of child abuse are very low, right? It is a low number. So it's already likely true to begin with. And just based off of body language and vocal inflection and all the other shit, none of this comes off to me as a professional, as someone who's lying, especially from a 9-year-old girl. When you have a 9-year-old girl talk about how she's got blood in her panties from something that's happened, tell me that this is the amount of detail and the level of detail. You would have to practice for a while to master this story, man. It takes a lot to master that level of fake information to be able to tell that kind of a lie. And Shadow King's right. An adult would have this trouble faking this level of sincerity. And that child is terrified. I've got literal goosebumps right now. And I'm fucking shaking. I'm literally shaking. Insert meme here if it makes you feel better. Right? From this. I don't want to continue this. But people need to hear this story because people don't listen. And there are people who think that this child is lying. I would bet my license, I would bet my profession, I would bet all the years of schooling I've ever done on this subject, on psychology and my master's degree, all of it, that this is true. Because there's no way this is fake. I've tried to take it as fake and I can't. There's no way I can see this as being fake. The only way I can see this as being fake would be to discard Occam's razor completely, to discard every other thing that you would think of when it comes to logic. It just doesn't work. Let's continue.
I'm telling you the truth.
I'm not, honey, I am not saying you're not.
And mommy's mistake always makes me feel bad about myself. like this fighting or any of it. I'm not young. I'm tired of it.
Listen, if you felt so bad about yourself, how did you get the school lead in the grade?
I want to kill this woman, metaphorically in Minecraft. Oh my god. Oh my god. I hate this grandma. This grandma is one of the worst people I've ever encountered in my entire lifetime. I've met literally people who would do this kind of thing to a child who are actually better people than this grandmother. There are actual child abusers who are better than this grandmother. Because at least the child abuser or child molester can admit to what they're doing. This grandmother is so oblivious and so stupid. If you felt so bad about yourself, how were you able to get in the school play, the lead in the school play? I don't know. I've suffered for depression for about 7 years, and I still managed to pull off, well, probably longer than that, probably closing in on a decade. I've suffered major depression for almost a decade, and yet somehow I managed to get a bachelor's degree, get a master's degree, serve in the military. Doesn't mean I can't do other things. It just impacts the ability for me to do my stuff. It makes it harder to do. Just because I'm not feeling sad all the time and feeling horrible about myself all the time doesn't mean I can't do something positive. This grandmother has to be in on it, or that dumb. I don't get it. I completely forgot about this section. And I'm trying not to scream right now because my wife will come back here and say, "What the fuck are you doing?" Because I'm so mad right now. I'm so mad right now. All I want to do is punch something. And I'm not a person who gets violent or angry. And this is one of the things that gets me violent or angry, is listening to shit like this. Yeah, this is exactly what a cunt. Like, that's the... I know, right? I feel like that should be a t-shirt, right? That should be a t-shirt. Yes, I think we need to fuel up. I'll agree with that. Also agree with that. Basically, she's saying she's lying. But let's continue. Let's listen to Amazing Grandma be amazing.
When you were very young, you did gymnastics, you did all kinds of fun things.
Because all my friends said to do it, and I wanted to.
But you had fun doing it, didn't you?
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
You had
I love how this 9-year-old girl is fucking schooling grandma. I love it so much. Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. I love how a 9-year-old girl can tell the world to a 50 or 60-something-year-old woman and be straight about it and be fucking on the point about it, right? You have to assume at this point this grandma is at least in her 50s, right? Early 50s, late 40s being generous, likely early 50s. A 9-year-old girl is schooling her in life. That's the fucking beauty of this video. This 9-year-old girl knows more about life and what it means to deal with this shit than this 50-something or 60-something-year-old woman has any idea about. That's fucking beautiful. It's fucking sad, but it's fucking beautiful in its own right. Let's continue.
fun and it made you feel good. You could do your walkovers.
Well, that doesn't mean they didn't make me feel bad about myself. Why? I'm trying to tell you something.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
I'm not going.
So what
I'll
else
hang
makes
out
you
with you,
feel
but
bad?
alone.
What else makes you feel bad? Because
Stop.
before we
I'm
came
done.
down,
I'm done.
before when I dropped you off,
No.
and everything was good. Everything was good when we dropped you off. Just trying to understand.
Your grandma found something you did?
What?
Remember when you left her this summer and you bought that card at the store?
Yes.
Remember what it said?
Yes.
I don't. Can you tell me? I know you picked it out, but I don't remember.
Stay.
Why was that bad? What did you have?
reason.
Haha, good job, Sophie. Why do you come up with these weird reasons?
Bring her back to 𝐒𝐲𝐬. She refuses to make her pay on the property. Like, refuses to up. Never sees her. And we're replicating that. We're the whole thing. She's free to go. Leave my family. She's never been held back.
Well, then how do you think I feel? I'm not confused.
I don't know what the rest of this is. I don't remember. I know that one of the one second. Sorry, one of Nick's videos continued to autoplay on the open Chrome tab. And you always say nothing happens. Yep, disgusting. Yeah, imagine having that debate. It's pretty fucking depressing. I'm pretty fucking depressed right now. This is another good point too. Of course she was good when you dropped her off. She was going to a place where she wouldn't be raped. Yep. Say, this girl does know how to communicate. She knows how to communicate better than the adults that are supposed to be taking care of her. At least half of the adults that are supposed to be taking care of her. Oh boy. At what point do yeah, at what point do we just like this is just it's overwhelming, man. How do you like how do you just listen to this happen and pretend it's okay? Like where's the I'm trying to see if I can find one of these documents. Excuse me. From this case, because I have them sitting on my computer here. I was able to get them moved to this laptop. I can't seem to find the ones that are important. Damn it. Is this the right one? I don't. I really wish I had time earlier today because this is kind of a last minute thing. But here's the thing, Twisted Puppet, is no one knows at this point because the judge on the case sealed the case from public access. None of the information, none of the records are able to be released. The newest record I have dates September 2020. It was like September 9th, 2020 is the newest record I have. I have stuff from, I guess I have 9/14, 2020, 9/14, 9/14, looks like 9/14 is the latest I have because it's right around the time I sent out the access to, I sent out my request to the court to get all the records because I had to order it on a CD and stuff. But I sent that out a while back. I know Siren Jag. I message him somewhat frequently. I know he's got a line to the new defamation lawsuits and stuff that are out there. I don't know if he has a line to the current happenings of the case is the question. I'll have to reach out to him and ask. Nerd Tremble says that the courts ordered the mom's boyfriend to have a no contact order with her or her brothers, but it may have been broken due to the being heard on the Zoom call Sophie had with her dad. I do know that Sophie also went to the hospital after an alleged abuse had occurred by the boyfriend and multiple men. Was the last thing I remember hearing that was significant in the case. Was Sophie was forced to go to the mom's for a visitation, and during that visitation something had happened. I believe it was allegedly somewhere between 2 to 4 men had assaulted Sophie that night or during that visitation weekend or during that visitation period. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but I do remember that being a thing. I'm pretty bummed right now listening to that. I keep hearing it over and over in my head. So we can finish tonight out either talking about other related topics, or we can finish the night out with, we could do some Rescue 911 if you guys are up for that. I'm happy to always watch Rescue 911. I think she did have a test done. I think there was evidence of trauma. Again, I don't know off the top of my head. It's been so long. It's been almost a year. And I've had to juggle so much personally, let alone with this stuff. Trying to just keep up was difficult. But we were able to finish the video. We got through the real nitty-gritty parts of it. You could see in that 19-minute video the child going from really not wanting to go to significantly not wanting to go to literally crying because she was fearful of getting abused. Talking about how, and I wasn't the only one in chat who said it, that they heard her talking about someone touching her in her sleep, about being blood in her underwear. These are things that a 9-year-old child, one, that doesn't sound like she had started her period yet, which is uncommon for 9-year-olds. 9-year-olds start their periods. It's roughly 9 to 16 technically. You can start your period. So, it's technically doable. It could have been her period, but it doesn't sound like it. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys. We can talk about related stuff if you guys have anything relatable. I can't pull up the documents on screen because I hadn't finished redacting private information, because there was names and addresses, and there was also details of what happened to Sophie that I'm not going to share online. that I don't think need to be memorialized in a way that, if anyone else wants to share that, they're free to. I'm not going to. So until I have a chance to review those documents again, I'm not going to. So we can stay on this topic, or we can leave the night with a positive note. With something like Rescue 911, or we can watch some positive stuff to kind of bring everyone's mood up. Because I can't drink alcohol, so it's up to you guys at this point. You guys are in charge here. All I know is from my end, watching that was very difficult. I'm at a loss for words, really. That's the thing. Now, here's the thing. Is I'm not against helping the people who do those kind of things. I completely support the ability for them to get access to treatment and care. Just like I would expect someone who's been a victim to get access to treatment and care. But there are limits, and there are usually a lot of underlying things that go into that, right? I've got literal books on how to do treatment for sex offenders, and how do you deal with female sex offenders? How do you deal with, and that's not just sex offenders like child sex offenders, like just sex offenders in general, dealing with female sex offenders, dealing with juvenile sex offenders. And honestly, like, I'm not just angry at the person who's doing the assault, right? Just like Shadow King here is saying. Let me put it up on screen. I'm angry at the grandmother and the mother. They're really some of the people at fault here. You have two people who were supposed to be charged with care of a 9-year-old girl who aren't listening. Hashtag Believe All Women has apparently disappeared. Listen to Believe has disappeared. To these two people, apparently. And it's fucking infuriating. I don't expect everyone to believe every single instance and accusation of an assault or molestation or anything like that blindly. I don't. Now, in the moment, I'll take you at your word. But anything after that comes with the territory. Is it personal? Is it a professional environment? Is it this or that? It's not just a... So I'm going to argue against this one. So it's not necessarily that there's no chance for recovery. There are a lot of reasons that people offend, and a lot of them are treatable. Like, you can treat a lot of the things that are, because as I've covered before in different streams and stuff, not necessarily on my channel, but other channels, the motivation for child abuse like that isn't just sexual attraction. Most of the time it's not. A good chunk of the time it's not, right? There's usually other things going on. It's a lot of power control related issues, right? It's things on that spectrum that have to do with it, right? It's rarely just I'm attracted to children and I want to do this to a child. It's rarely that, to the extent that you would think, right? It's a lot less. But it can be treated. There are successful treatment methods for that, just like there are for treating victims, just like there are for treating people who are addicted to drugs, just like for treating people who are depressed. A lot of it comes down to wanting help and wanting to work the process, right? That's a lot of it. So what I want to do, because I'm this has really put me in a really shitty spot tonight. Let's watch an episode or two of Rescue 911, because why not? And let's try and bring up our mood and not be so, let's see where people can have good parts about themselves and do good things with their lives, but not end up doing horrible shit. So we'll watch an episode or two of Rescue 911, and we'll kind of take it from there. So let me get the right tab up. So I don't know if I've watched this one, but we're going to watch this one. So this one is 911 Suicide Son Save. Oh, God damn it. 1 second.
Horace Shanks and his wife, Susan, had always tried to provide a good life for their 5 children. In the late 1980s, they moved to Helendale, California, hoping their kids would get a better education and a better start on the future. But their dreams for their 17-year-old son, Seth, came crashing down on the afternoon of March 11th, 1993.
I think that all teenage parent relationships are somewhat of a power struggle. They have to make their mistakes, and they have to be able to make their choices. You can't protect them from that. I think as parents you want to real bad.
Forrest was at work when he received a call from his son Seth's school. Seth hadn't shown up that day, and someone had phoned in an excuse claiming to be Forrest.
Put yourself downstairs, buddy.
When I arrived home, I found out that his sister had also cut school.
Right here and now. Sit right down. Shannon, get off the phone.
I woke him up, and he was not real coherent. And I wanted answers, and I expected to get answers
What is wrong with
rather rapidly.
Besides the obvious.
Your dad seems a bit pissed off.
know.
Up until the 8th grade, Seth was an excellent student. He was honors student when we moved here. That changed. They'd cut quite a bit of school at the beginning of the school year, and Seth, we'd put him in an alternative school, which he had requested. I felt real betrayed at that point.
Dial the phone right now.
I think that Seth was angry at my dad because he called that guy his friend. I think it made Seth feel embarrassed and humiliated.
What makes you think you can call the school and tell them you're me, huh?
They had screwed up,
Yeah, that's right.
and they were both given spankings at that time as a punishment, and then told to do their homework. At that time, I decided we all needed to cool out and kind of get back to normal. That was, at least as far as I was concerned, the end of the issue.
Oh, this is kind of ominous. Oh, this is not good.
I ran down to the
really
store
bad.
to get a 6-pack of soda, and at this point I was feeling very frustrated. I'd been threatening. I could tell by the way that Seth reacted that I'd hit the button.
I'm already starting to get chills.
I didn't know
over
what he
this
was
one.
going to do. I thought maybe he was going to go after my dad because Seth doesn't really take stuff out on himself. He takes it on other people, usually.
I was calmed down and wanted to come and talk to the kids a little bit. Kind of apologize and hopefully get an apology back and go about our business.
Seth? Shanna? Shanna?
Seth, that's home.
911 emergency. You okay? Hello, 911. Get off the phone! Hang the phone up! Hello? Hello, 911? Yes. Yes, my son just shot himself with a .44 Magnum. Okay, did he commit suicide? He's still breathing. Please hurry.
Seth was bleeding from his chest, and he told me that it hurts.
Yes.
The call came in to
That's
San
rough to
Bernardino
watch.
County Sheriff's
Dad.
Dispatcher, Bob Duncan.
Stay on the phone with me, okay? Okay. Please, I'm holding him. Okay, do you know how to stop the bleeding? I'm trying to find the bleeding, sir. Okay, where did he shoot himself at? He shot himself in the upper chest. He's having problems breathing. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to try to sit him up a little bit, okay? Okay. Oh, son, why could you do this? How could you do this?
What went through my
That's the real
mind
911
is suicide
call,
is so permanent. When he said it was a 17-year-old, it was like, this kid hasn't even begun to live yet.
Hang in there, son. Stay on the phone with me. The paramedics are on the way already, okay? Okay. Stay on the phone with me, okay? I am.
We cover roughly 17,000 square miles of the county, so I knew somebody wouldn't be there extremely quick. If Seth's father wasn't going to help, nobody else could.
He's dead. What makes you think he's dead? He just quit breathing. Do you know how to do CPR? Yes, I do, sir. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to lay him flat on his back right now. Okay. Okay, he's starting to breathe again. Okay, good. I want you to keep one hand underneath his neck and lift up just a little bit. That way he helps keep his airway open. Okay. He's quitting to breathe, stopping breathing again. Okay, give him a minute and see if he starts up again. Let me know if he starts up again. He's not starting up. Okay, go ahead and give 4 quick puffs, okay? Okay, I want you to check for a pulse on his neck. I don't feel a pulse. Okay, go ahead and I want you to follow his rib cage up. Okay, he's breathing again. Okay, let him breathe. Check for a pulse again. Do you feel a pulse? Very faint. Okay, that's good though. He has a pulse. Okay.
I've had training in CPR and real easy to lose all of that.
Got to be difficult as a dad
I was having a
to
real
watch
tough
that.
time.
And they can put on him to help.
I felt like I was losing him.
Now, have you found the wound yet? No, I haven't. Okay. To be honest with you, I'm almost afraid to look. Okay, I understand. To be honest with you, it's probably just going to be a little hole. In the front. Okay. In the back, it was a 44 Magnum. It's a 44, and did it come out the back? Oh, my goodness. Did it come out the back? I need to turn him over to see that. Should I turn him over? Okay, go ahead and roll him on his side. Okay, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If you can't, just lay him back on his back, okay? Is there blood in his mouth? I can't see blood, but he is gurgling. Okay, roll him over on his side, okay? Make it his left side. Roll him onto his left side, the same side that has the bullet wound. Okay. I'm shaking. I understand, but you're doing really well. You have to stay calm. You have to help me with this. Okay? I'm trying. Okay, he's on the left side. He quit breathing, sir. Okay, give him 4 quick puffs again.
So the CPR protocols have changed since this aired, obviously.
Is there a pulse?
If anyone is familiar with CPR, why it's different now
I don't really
versus
have a problem telling. Not that I know of. If you don't know and you can't tell, I want you to follow his rib cage up with one hand. Okay. Okay, I want you to find his xiphoid process. Remember, that's a little bone that sticks down at the bottom, right under his sternum, okay? Right. I want you to go 2 fingers above that. Okay. Okay, you should be almost directly in between his nipples, okay? Right. And I want you to use the heel of your hand, and I want you to press down about 1 to 2 inches. You're going to feel some popping, but you're going to have to do this, okay? Okay, I'm doing this. Okay, go ahead.
Awful the first time you do it.
Okay, now I want you to do it at my rate, okay? You ready? Push, 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 push,
I will be critical here, though, is you can't do real good CPR
Keep going
on a
at that
bed.
rate, okay? Yeah.
There's too much spring back, so you need like a solid
but do this.
surface.
You have to do this 15 times, okay?
You gotta bring them onto like the floor.
Within 12 minutes of the
Normally you don't want to move the
San
trauma
Bernardino
victim
County Fire Department
because
arrived on the
you
scene.
risk making shit worse.
Go ahead and start pushing.
But
Ready? Push.
they're not breathing, there's no
push.
pulse.
I felt bad for
You
him.
have to balance what's
Forrest
more
was
important.
very emotional. It sounded like he started crying. And if there was any time he was going to break down, then was the time, because there was someone else there to take care of Seth at that point.
Give him some air. Okay, go ahead.
You could hear one of the firefighters say, okay, no pulse, continue CPR. And they continued on. That hit me like, okay, the father was right. He was definitely dead and probably wouldn't be coming back.
Sir, we need to put him on the floor.
Among those who responded was EMT Captain Mike Barber.
There we go.
On the bed, you don't get the right compression depth or
Hey,
the
they
right
beat me to
compression
it.
rate
I
because
beat
the
them to it.
bed springs move too much. It needs to be on a hard surface.
Okay, Mr. Shanks, you did really good, okay? Okay. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breath.
In our eyes, from everything that we've been taught, Seth was dead.
I'm ready to take over. I'm ready to start bagging him.
3, 4, 5.
Sheriff's Deputy Marie Spain wrote the report on the shooting.
How many entry wounds you got?
My initial reaction on any suicide attempt is always anger. It's the ultimate act of selfishness to me. And the emotional pain and torment that family members go through when something like that has occurred in their family, it's just indescribable. Were you upstairs? I told her there was nothing you could do. You could not stop your brother. It's
She's
not
right.
your fault.
She's right, actually. It is always something small that will trigger it. Usually,
a year ago,
you'd be
if I
surprised
had it all
at
under
little things
control, I
will
would
cause
have
it.
assured you that I had it
Someone
under
to do that.
control.
I know when I did it, it was small
I
stuff.
never ever would have dreamed that
technically
we would be involved in something like this.
There was a white piece of paper under the empty holster.
Oh, I agree.
I don't remember
That
the exact
makes me so sad, too.
wordage on the note, but it was something to the effect that, Dad, you know everything. You don't let me do anything. I'm a man now. I'm not a boy anymore.
So yeah, it
Like
probably was
I'll show
humiliating.
you.
Kind of like
1, 2,
you guys were
3.
saying.
At Victor Valley Community Hospital, Seth was treated by emergency physician Dan Curtis.
He literally took his last breath at the time he arrived in the hospital, and at that point we had to take over everything for him.
You're going to need at least 6 minutes.
The left upper lobe was completely destroyed. It had destroyed the lung tissue, it had destroyed the pulmonary artery and the pulmonary veins, so that in the short period of time since he'd been shot, he'd lost almost his entire blood volume into the chest cavity.
Oh my God! How
When
did
he arrived in our
survive?
hospital, he was as close to death as anyone can get and still survive.
Insane.
While Seth underwent 3 hours of surgery,
That's
his
a
mother,
lot.
Susan, joined her family at the hospital.
Wow.
Exact sentence out of my mouth is that this happens to other people. This doesn't happen to us. Because this isn't an act that I would have expected from Seth.
That's a lot to lose. And
I accept a
destroy
lot
the
of
pulmonary
responsibility
artery.
for it. I
That's a
forgot
big
the
fucking
things that I
deal.
had learned, or the things that I had gone through in my own life when I was that age. It's very difficult for either one of us to talk about the actual events that took place. Somebody had asked him why he just didn't run away, and his comment was that Dad would come and find me.
That's pretty damn
It
depressing
wasn't
too.
something that I ever considered, but I got to find out that my children were afraid of me.
That's a pretty big deal for a parent, right?
Though part of his damaged lung had to be removed, Seth has recovered from the shooting. He and his family have undergone counseling.
I was just real angry and I wasn't thinking straight. I'm the kind of person that I hold everything in and then it just blow up.
That's why you shouldn't
After
hold
it
shit
builds
in.
up a certain amount.
There were family sessions that we went to every week, and that's helped a lot.
That's
This could
good.
have just split
I
our
recommend
family
family
to pieces,
sessions
I
too.
think.
Family sessions are
I
very
think it's
helpful.
proved that we were a lot stronger than we thought we were.
There's so many people affected by what happened. And I don't see how you can solve anything by doing that. If you really want to solve something, you'll try to talk it out. Find somebody that will listen to you.
Recently, the Shanks family got a chance to meet dispatcher Bob Duncan.
Forrest called up and said that he didn't know my last name. He was just told my name was Bob, and that he wanted to thank me and told me how Seth was doing. Everyone says they don't get paid enough. In my job, it's the same thing. However, one thank you, which I got from Forrest, meant the world to me.
If you didn't take what I was telling you and to put it into action, nothing would have worked.
It's very easy to say, when you do that, I'm going to spank you, and then that's the end of the issue. It takes a lot more work than that. It takes a lot more thought. We work every day on being better parents, better listeners, better understanders.
And I thought about what would happen if I died. There's other ways to go around it. Take a time out, go for a walk, or talk to somebody. You have your downs now, but it'll get better later.
Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And no problem that I have even encountered as a deputy sheriff, as well as when I was a teenager, is worth dying for.
Completely agree with that.
Seth has moved to Wyoming, where he works and lives near his older brother.
Sometimes the paths that we pick for our children are not necessarily what's best for them. We have to listen to them more. We have to maybe negotiate. There's no big bolt come out of the sky. We don't all change all at once, but I think he's going to do well. He's going to do well in his life.
Suicide prevention hotlines are available in most communities. Don't hesitate to call if you need help.
Oh, I completely agree with that. Make sure you use those numbers. As much as people like to joke, you know, they are actually, you can save your own life or someone else's life by having them call those numbers. People think, you know, you're taking someone's time, you know, you're bothering somebody. People volunteer their time or work there because they want to take those phone calls. Don't be afraid to make those phone calls. You're not taking anyone's time that doesn't want to, you know, that doesn't want to be there, that doesn't want to help. You know, make sure you don't be afraid to reach out for help, because it is a lot sometimes to have on your plate, right? It's okay to ask for help. You know, let's move on to our next one. You know, that's my speech on suicide hotlines real quick. You know, it is okay to reach out. Don't do what I did. Don't do what other people did. You know, and like Shadow King said, just being able to talk to your best friend, someone, find anyone. Find a way to vent. And like Shadow King says, you don't have to be in gay therapy sessions or just straight therapy sessions. You know, therapy can be helpful. Therapy cannot be helpful sometimes. But, you know, it's up to, you know, you to make of it what you want. So let's move on to another video. I'm going to start the video and I'm going to run to the restroom. So if you don't hear me comment, I'll be right back. It should only be a minute. So, but let's get this started.
When Tropical Storm Allison blew into Texas, it dropped 10 inches of rain in a day. Actors have helped us reconstruct the events that began on June 26th.
It was raining all day. The ditches were flooded. Of course, the kids thought, this is fun. Tricia and Crystal were asking me all day long to go outside because they saw all the kids outside playing.
By around 7 p.m., the storm had passed, and the floodwaters it left behind were draining away into Houston's storm drains and bayous. Karen Reese finally let her daughter Tricia and her niece go out and play in the front yard. Neighbor Ruth Strong happened to see them.
I was in the kitchen, and I looked out the window, and I saw two little girls out there, and they got in the ditch.
It was real deep, and the water was moving real fast, and Trish fell in. And I was trying to get her, but then she went under the water.
It happened so fast, and at first I wasn't sure I'd seen it happen. I started screaming for my husband to go out there to check to see if she was drowning.
When she didn't come back up, then I ran through the back door, told Karen.
I was scared. I just couldn't believe this was happening. My neighbor behind me was down there in the ditch trying to reach in there.
I was putting my arm down there inside the drain, fishing around trying to catch her. It was too late. Yeah, she was done gone.
Houston Fire Ambulance, what's your emergency?
I think my daughter got sucked down one of the streams.
How old is your daughter?
She's 7.
Was she out there playing with a bunch of kids or something?
Yeah, and some lady said she did see her go down. Please.
Ma'am, we'll be there quick as we can.
Please.
Fire Captain Bob Krennick and his men were the first rescue workers to arrive.
Okay, I'm back.
When we
described the scene, you couldn't tell just by the surface of the water how bad it was. It was just a little bit of a ripple on top of the water. So one of my men jumped into the ditch itself, and he told me that if he hadn't been as big as he was, that it probably would have sucked him down too.
The drainage pipe was only 18 inches wide.
We got a pipe pole.
That's still a pretty big drainage
Checked,
pipe.
make sure nothing was in the pipe. And when we ran the pipe pole through the culvert, there was nothing in there.
Pipe clean. Pipe clean. All right, take that and go to the other side.
On the other side of the road, the pipe drained into a gutter.
So then we went to the gutter and looked for her in this area, which was approximately 4 feet deep. And
God, that's gotta be scary as shit, though, man. Wouldn't it be?
The storm waters were crashing through the drainage system at 40 miles an hour.
The manhole pipe was full of water, and it was rushing at a pretty good clip down there. We just thought it'd been impossible for anybody to hang on.
Imagine being the parent watching that, right?
Crying to Trish. Just asking her to hold on. She's fragile. You know, she's not a fighter. I felt helpless.
The police dive team arrived, but there was little they could do.
Yeah,
We felt the chance of survival at the pipe site itself was very minimal. If she had got swept out to the bayou, she might have had a chance to live. So at that point, the divers went down the bayou. The drain coming into the bayou was checked, and they searched the bayou and up and down the banks for an hour or so, and came up with nothing there. We had men on the bayou banks themselves searching for her, and we had them on bridges watching to see if she'd come by. The longer the search went on, we just had a real bad feeling.
They had been
Yeah,
searching for more
that's
than
giving me
3
a
hours.
eerie
sign of
feeling.
Tricia.
Not
The
knowing.
hardest part was just standing
3
there,
hours?
watching them working at that drain. It
You
just
know
seemed
every
so
minute that
futile,
passes, you're thinking you're
because
going to find a
there wasn't
body.
anything anybody could do.
That's
So the
depressing.
dive team came back and gave one more final check and came up with nothing. That's when they decided that it was time to call it off. And it was just like a hopeless feeling when you know you've done everything you can do and you still didn't find anything.
I couldn't believe it. I just kept thinking, why Trish, not Trish? Trisha, no. You have your hopes that she's out there alive. Then you have your hopes that, you know, that if she is dead, that she's with Jesus and Jesus is going to take care of her. But then again, I'm angry at Jesus for taking her. It was not time to take her.
Very early the next morning, before the police dive team returned for its final search, Tricia's 15-year-old cousin, DeVincent, set out to look for her one more time.
I didn't want to believe she was gone, you know. I didn't believe it. I went a ways down the street, and I saw 2 guys. They had blueprints in their hands, so I approached them asking them, are y'all here looking for Trish?
Tim Gabush and his partner were checking sewage pipes in the area for storm damage.
We had heard about it on the radio, that a little girl had disappeared, and we just assumed the worst. And then he told us that this happened a couple of streets over. And we asked him, well, you know, show us where it's at. I didn't see how it was possible that she was still down in there after all the water that had been raging through the ditches. When I opened the manhole, the first thing went through my mind is I'd rather not find anything than a dead little child.
You're no kidding, right?
Can you hand me that flashlight when I get started?
The storm waters had receded enough to allow Tim to climb down the manhole to the main storm drain.
I shined the light down the line, and at first I thought I saw something, and I didn't want to believe it at first, and then I saw a little bit of movement. And then I more or less said to myself, is that a little girl in there?
Little girl?
And then finally I called out to her, and she answered back, who are you? She was hesitant about coming out at first. She said she wanted her mama, and I said, well, that's who we came to take you for. Your mama sent us to look for you. And she come crawling out to us in through the pipe.
Oh, dear God, that's so amazing.
And so I ran outside, and I saw this man carrying her about the middle of the street. And I saw the man carrying her, and she was holding her own head up. That was just the happiest right there.
That's a scene. I wish I would have had a camera at the time, just the way she grabbed her little girl. She just took the little girl and started smothering her. Everybody kind of got ecstatic and wild, you know.
For more than 13 hours,
That's
Tricia had held
ridiculous.
out against the force of the storm waters by clinging to the wall of the 3-foot-wide drain.
It took a while to sink in. that actually, you know, we found her. And then the more you think about it, the better you feel. It
Oh
adds
my
something
God.
to you, I guess. No matter what happens
Say, is
for the
someone
rest of the day,
cut onions in here?
nobody can ruin
It's
this
amazing, isn't it? This is
The
why I
city
like
has put
watching
up a
stuff
grate
like
on
this.
The opening to the drainage pipe. Tricia was kept in the hospital overnight for observation and then released. There was nothing seriously wrong with her.
How?
I still blame
That's
my
amazing
urine
shit,
in the
right?
back.
That's
I
amazing.
can still remember it.
How does a child survive 13 hours from floodwaters, rainwaters like that?
They weren't like my human hands.
You could have another 1 million people fall in. I don't think any would live like she did. I have no
That is
idea how she
amazing.
held herself against that current.
Everybody in the family always protected Tricia a little more than any of the other kids. You know, she's so little. Now I turn around on her, showing that she can do something. I would tell Tricia, you know, you went down that hole by yourself and you came out of it okay by yourself, so don't tell me you can't do nothing by yourself because you done did it. And thank God.
It's a hell of an
He gave
excuse
you
to
that
have.
miracle to, you know, look over her and make sure that she's going to be okay and come home.
Well, you survive the floodwaters. You can definitely finish your homework, right? Something was resting on my keyboard. Sorry about that. And but yeah, that was amazing. The fact that child survived. Like, what are the fucking odds? 13 hours. Excuse me. All right, let's watch another one. I like this one if I remember it correctly. Screw homework, I'll take floodwaters any day of the week. Yeah, I agree with that one. Say this one's pretty good if I remember correctly. It's a pretty amazing one because people kind of underestimate the impact of carbon monoxide.
Family to Colorado Springs, Colorado. He and his wife, Jonna, were excited about the opportunities and challenges their new surroundings would bring. But they weren't prepared for what happened on the evening of November 4th, just 6 days after moving into their new home.
Yeah, the human body is amazing. Children's bodies are amazingly resilient. It's the really cool part.
Son earlier in the evening, my wife and daughter were downstairs in the den playing.
I got it. Uh-oh, bed. Oh.
All of a sudden, my wife had discovered that my daughter was not feeling well.
Here. What's wrong with you? I don't know, huh? You want to take a deep breath for Mama and hopefully it will feel better? Huh? You want to do that? Okay, there you go. Megan? Megan? Megan, look at Mommy. Megan, talk to Mommy. Randy!
Fire department. What's the problem there? I have a little girl who just turned 2. I just was feeling her forehead, and she was feeling like she had a temperature. My son had also had the flu, so I thought maybe she was coming down with something. I gave her 2 of Chiller's Tylenol, and she's like she fell asleep. Ma'am, we have help on the way. What is your name? Jonna?
Colorado Springs dispatcher Marion Druckenmiller took the call.
Yes, I do. Okay, what I want you to do is take all her clothes off right now.
The woman was real upset, and she was telling me that her baby was convulsing and that she was real red.
Yeah, that's a bit of a scary thing to see.
Still breathing? Yes, she is.
I thought that the baby had a high fever and that she needed to cool it off.
Ma'am, like I said, we have someone on the way. I know it's scary, but you need to try and remain calm. This is going to help your little girl. Jonna, what else I want you to do is to get a cool rag, a damp rag, and just kind of cool her face off. Okay. And, you know, that's what I want you to do right now. Can you do that?
The whole time we're doing this, she's still very much lifeless, no response.
I'm going to update my paramedics that are responding out there, okay? And they're going to be there just as soon as possible, but I want you to stay on the line, okay? Hold on.
I had no idea what had happened because she's been healthy since the day she was born, and all of a sudden now she's laying here lifeless in my arms, and I just wanted her back. I didn't want to lose her.
Okay, John, I'm back with you. How is she doing?
This is Randy.
Okay, how?
Husband.
All right, Randy, they're ahead and let you go, and they're going to take real good care of her, okay?
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
The Colorado Springs Fire Department was the first to arrive on the scene, including firefighter EMT Bud Widmar.
Fire department.
Nobody would answer the door.
Fire department. See anybody?
And we couldn't hear anybody inside, and we beat on the door, told them it was fire department.
Fire department.
And the longer we waited, the more we were getting concerned that something wasn't right.
Yeah, that's a bit concerning.
Just about time we were getting ready to force entry, the dad came in the door with a girl in his hand.
Hi, what's going on?
But he wasn't acting right, which was strange. He was just like in a stupor. And I told Brian, I said, this has all the symptoms of carbon monoxide. Let's get him out of here and get him out now.
Paramedic Brian Moffat rushed 2-year-old Megan to the waiting medic unit.
Carbon monoxide is odorless, tasteless. It's not something that you can detect. It's a very dangerous atmosphere. Really, your only treatment is to put the patient on high-flow oxygen and then take him to the hospital.
John, get the windows. Get the windows.
This was a very dangerous situation because of carbon monoxide. Kills within minutes.
John! Oh, my God. Somebody help! Come on, wake up. What have we got here?
I told him to get out of the house 3 or 4 times, but he didn't want to do that. And then my concern went to the 7-year-old boy.
Hey, can you hear me?
I checked his breathing. I couldn't detect any breathing.
Get you out of the house, huh? Let's go.
And I
That's
thought
not good either.
We were really in trouble.
Come on.
When I picked him up, he started breathing on his own. Just grabbed him as fast as I could and ran him out.
More trucking. What's going on?
Firefighter EMT Dan Romero went to help Randy with his wife.
John.
She was totally incoherent. Her pulse was rapid.
Get her out of here. Let me get around there.
She was
Yeah, that's
very,
pretty-
very close to death.
Ready? Go.
If you're not aware, carbon monoxide has a 200-fold increase of binding to hemoglobin versus oxygen. So it's 200 times more likely to bind to the hemoglobin in your blood than O2 will. That's why it's so dangerous.
A lot of
Is
people
it will
think
just
that once you get out
it
in
will
the air,
prefer
that you can breathe okay,
carbon
but the
monoxide
monoxide
over
attaches itself
oxygen.
to the blood cells, and we have to force that carbon monoxide out and replace it back with oxygen.
If
We
it's
didn't have
not
much
just
time.
one person in your household that's sick, you have to
All
think
of the victims were
environmental,
taken to
right?
Memorial
It's not
Hospital,
likely them,
where they
it's
were
more likely
examined
the
by emergency
environment.
physician Michael Thompson.
The mother's
That's why
level on
if
arrival
someone's
was
acting like
41.
wrong
that
or
means
something.
That 41% of her hemoglobin was saturated with carbon
Holy
monoxide.
shit, 41%.
I have actually seen patients die with levels less than 41.
41's pretty bad.
The father and son were essentially asymptomatic on arrival, even though they had significantly high carbon monoxide levels.
The doctors explained to me that my wife had had the most carbon monoxide in her system. And so then my fears had switched from my daughter to my wife, and I was very much afraid for her life.
Due to the severity of poisoning of the mother and little Megan, we sent them to the hyperbaric oxygen chamber.
This is the fun
This is
stuff.
a chamber in which we can pressurize 100% oxygen to several atmospheres of pressure and force carbon monoxide off the hemoglobin.
Pressurized and pure oxygen will cause a little pressure on their ears, but they know how to clear their ears. You can talk with them.
My wife was laying there, eyes open. She touched the glass, and at that point I felt like she looks bad, but she's going to be fine.
While inside the hyperbaric chamber, they were treated by Dr. Nathan Brightwell.
People should be aware that carbon monoxide poisoning in its early stages can be very similar to flu-like illnesses. The Chapmans are very lucky in that Mrs. Chapman recognized there was something wrong with her daughter Megan and called the paramedics.
The mother and daughter were literally minutes away from death at the time they were rescued by the paramedics. And the father and son
Man,
were
that's pretty
followed
scary.
soon thereafter.
Jonna Chapman and her daughter Megan were released from the hospital the next day without any lasting side effects.
You try and take every precaution possible to make sure your family and your children are safe. And to have something like this that you cannot detect come in and almost wipe your family out, was the scariest thing that could have ever happened to
Carbon
us.
monoxide can kill whole families.
I could not imagine what would have happened that night had we not had 911. So I always knew how important it was, but now they're a lifesaver.
So I will pause real quick. I know whenever, them saying they had 911 is the 911 system is a relatively new thing. And one of the things about the 911 system is in the early days, also like late 80s, early 90s, when a lot of these episodes were filmed and a lot of these incidents took place, a lot of the systems were, you had different counties, different cities on different systems. You didn't have GPS location like we do now for civilians. You had to hope someone gave you the right address. If something happened and it wasn't like next to a telephone, you had to run and go get help. Cell phones were not as prevalent. Even with 911 systems in your community, you're still talking 5 to 15 minutes before help arrives normally on average. That's why knowing CPR, knowing first aid, all those kind of things save lives so much more often than you would think. A lot of times you can save someone's life before fire and EMS get there, or before police get there, before any first responder gets there. But there's actually a couple different parts of Rescue 911 where they did like the 100 lives saved or the 200 lives saved episodes, where people remember watching like this episode or another episode on carbon monoxide, and they recognized their own family was having those symptoms, and it saved their family's lives because they didn't think much of it, or it was late at night or something, like they were going to go to bed, or so something as simple as recognizing the symptoms of carbon monoxide. If you have something in your household like a fireplace, pilot light, anything that can cause incomplete combustion, because that's what is your primary source of carbon monoxide, is incomplete combustion. So, gas stove, something like that, anything where you can have something burn and not burn completely, or burn partially, or burn in a shitty way, that will generate carbon monoxide. If you have something like that, just any house, doesn't hurt to have a carbon monoxide alarm. Most fire alarms nowadays, you can buy combination units. That's my fire safety, fire awareness tip for the day.
Thank you. When I see my kids and family today, sometimes I think how in just a matter of seconds, one night, it could all be taken away. But today I'm just thankful that we're back to normal and my kids are full of life just like they used to be.
Home heating systems and fireplaces need to be inspected regularly. The poisoning occurred because the Chapman's furnace wasn't properly vented.
We've had a fresh air return put into the furnace room. We've kept the window cracked like we were told by the fire department, and we've purchased carbon monoxide monitors.
See, even then, you had CO monitors available. They've gotten a lot cheaper.
I thought my
is one of the
sister was
things.
gonna die. I would have missed having a little sister because I love her more than anything.
That's not something that'll make you cry, will
family
it?
met the rescuers who helped save their lives that winter night.
It was a really neat feeling to be able to hold the little girl Megan and to be able to look at her and know that she was not going to suffer any ill effects from this, and that she was going to be able to go on to lead a fulfilled life.
They handle it so wonderfully and so professionally, and yet with such care, that they're just wonderful men. And we really appreciate it. What greater gift could anybody get than to have their family given back to them after coming so close to losing all of us?
Next.
She was well beyond the golden hour, so we knew we were fighting time.
Well, okay, let's do one more. So, press 1 for Christmas Tree Inferno. Press 2 for Motel Toddler Plunge. So, I'll leave it up to you guys for the last one. So, we'll do one more. So, 1 for Christmas Tree Inferno, 2 for Motel Toddler Plunge. Obviously, both sound pretty depressing. So, I got 2-1. We got 3 people or 4 people watching right now. Oh, I like this answer. So why not both? All right. A good band name. God damn it. You guys are horrible. But I love you. I love you, chat. I love you. So we'll watch Christmas Tree Inferno first. All right, so let me pull up that one. So share the tab, share the audio, Christmas Tree Inferno. Here we go. Let's do it.
On the night of December 19th, 1991, at Terry Eckerman's home in Wichita, Kansas, the tree was trimmed, stockings were hung, and the house was filled with holiday cheer. Terry's 4 young children and one of their friends could hardly wait for the last few days to pass before Christmas.
It is Pride Month. You do have to accept that. Plus, look how cute that is. How can you deny both of those videos with how cute that is?
Chris were playing in the living room, while Terry's 3 stepdaughters were busy in other parts of the house.
Trisha was smoking weed in the bathroom. We all remember Christmas in '91. Ooh, look how pretty. That's what they're supposed to do, right?
What's that noise? I heard this noise. I didn't know what it was. It was a crackling, popping sound. I heard
It's like a Wilhelm scream.
Like a danger type scream. I opened the bedroom door and looked out to see what was wrong. And I
did a video on that, Nerd Tremble, of how fast the dry Christmas tree will go up. It's another one of my Rescue 911 streams, I think.
When Terry heard the fire, she ran into the living room.
All I thought about was getting everyone out. I looked for the first person I could see, and that was Chris, the little boy I was babysitting.
Here, keep him outside. Where's Danae and Dustin? I don't know.
13-year-old Danae saw her little brother Dustin run into his bedroom.
Dustin!
So, real quick, I'm going to pause. So, that is actually a common thing that causes fatalities in house fires. And it's really depressing, right? What do kids normally feel safe in? Their bedroom, their own bed. They're familiar with it. They feel comfortable there. They get tucked in at night. So young kids, even a little bit older kids, will feel comfortable or they know it's a safe place. So why do they really... I know this is firefighter Ken coming out. Like, even though I haven't done it in a while, it still like comes to me like naturally to want to like talk about this shit. It's very important to actually have a fire safety plan for your household. Always teach your kids when they're young. If there's a fire, go outside. If there's a fire, go outside. If there's a fire, go outside. Like, practice it. Make sure they know that. Don't ever let them go to their room. Go wait by the big tree out front. Go wait by the mailbox. Go somewhere that's safe, right? You know, that's not near the house. That's far enough away, you know, because you have radiant heat from the fire. But, you know, somewhere that's close but not far that the family can meet at. You know, make sure you do have a plan, because a lot of kids get pulled out of houses dead from smoke inhalation from fire because they go and hide in their closet or under their bed because they think it's safe. And it's really fucking depressing to see or hear, right? I'm going to continue. Sorry, I'm not trying to cry during the happy stream.
Dustin! I got down on my knees to tell him we had to get out. But he wouldn't listen to me. I was really scared that I wasn't going to get him out. And that I wasn't going to get out because I wasn't leaving that room until I had him.
11-year-old Devin escaped out the back door and ran to her neighbor, Leonard Piesinger, for help.
She was screaming and yelling, "My house is on fire." I turned immediately, went right back in the house, and called the fire department.
Justin, let's go. Come on.
He was huddled way back in the corner.
Let's go.
There was lots and lots of smoke, and it was getting harder to see and harder to breathe.
Hurry, Dustin. Justin, you need to come with me.
I really thought that we were going to die in this house, in his room.
Please.
See the kids' hesitancy? They don't want to leave because they actually feel safe.
saying, oh my
You will
God, I've
fight
gotta
them to
find
leave
everybody.
sometimes.
I don't know where they are, but I've got to find them. All of a sudden, there was a flash.
There's your
of fire,
rollover. And that looks like that room's flashed
and it was
over.
just fire everywhere.
Yep. Also, don't ever go back into a burning building. You're more likely to die than to do anything.
I was trying to go out the front door since that was the closest exit. But almost everything around the Christmas tree was in flames.
Yeah, don't stand up like that. You'll sear your lungs with superheated smoking gases. Stay as close to the floor as possible.
And he was kicking me and, like, let me go. I don't want to go out here. I
God
just
damn,
wanna go
that's a
back
nice
to my
fire.
room.
That's a sexy fire. Oh, that was bad.
Then all of a sudden, he just wasn't there anymore.
Oh, dear Christ.
It
Oh,
was
my
like
God.
He just vanished or something. He just wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God, that just made my heart drop.
We checked and I couldn't see him.
I really
God
felt
damn it.
sick.
I want to
just
throw up.
said, oh, God, please don't let my baby die. And right after I said that, the smoke cleared away from around him, just for a second. And I reached in and pulled him out. I should have known that there was something wrong with him. I was just so glad to see him that I didn't think about that. I just wanted to get away from the house.
Oh, God, good timing.
I immediately I could see that he was burnt from the waist up fairly badly. His scalp was dark, his hair was burnt. Tears could have came to my eyes. I knew he needed to get those hands under cool water as soon as possible, and I knew it was bad enough that we need to get paramedics in.
That's pretty bad. You may have watched this one before, I don't remember.
My head was I was afraid I was going to lose my little brother. He was only 2, and I love him to death, and I don't want to lose him.
Within 3 minutes of the call, Wichita Fire and Sedgwick County EMS units arrived on the scene, including Medical Officer Alan Green.
Upon entering the house, I determined that Dustin was in critical condition.
About 18 months old. Okay.
He appeared to have burns over his face, his arms, hands, and across his chest and abdomen.
What's his name? Dustin. Dustin?
I knew we had a life-threatening situation at that time.
Dad,
Where's everybody?
we're in the house.
Dwayne Eckerman got home from work shortly after help arrived.
At this point, I still didn't know to what extent Dustin was burned. I tried to stay as calm as I could, and especially for Danae and my other 2 girls. There was a lot of fear, uncertainty. My God, their life had just gone up in smoke.
We're here, buddy.
I knew that it was going to be hard for Terry and for all of us. I stood next to her and I was crying and I told her that I loved her. I was afraid that he wasn't going to get any better, and I just knew that he was going to die.
Every room in the Eckerman house was severely damaged that night, including the bedroom where Dustin had been hiding.
Oh, goddamn.
2-year-old Dustin Eckerman suffered 2nd and 3rd-degree burns on his arms, face, and neck.
Ooh.
1 year later, he is still recovering from his injuries and remains under the care of Dr. Robert Bingaman.
Dustin is doing very well. I think he will have some visible scarring, but I don't anticipate that he will have any significant long-term disability.
You in that bathtub?
You remember that bathtub?
Yeah.
I think Dustin was very fortunate in that his sister recognized immediately what the problem was, and she saved his life.
Can you put some up on the side?
Fire Marshal Ron Blackwell was at the scene that night.
The probable cause of that fire was an electric short and the Christmas lights that were on the tree. One more. Every family needs to take time to plan. What are we going to do if we have a fire? A fire moves far more quickly than I think anyone could possibly imagine. And most family escape plans should include 2 ways out. And once you're out of the house, stay out of the house.
Get a hook on here.
What do you say?
Please.
That's better. What I saw through all of this was a family spirit that was just dynamite. And what I learned from this is that when a setback occurs in a family like this, how important it is to show the love and concern for each other that can build a stronger family when it finally is over with. All right.
There you go.
You like the snow, Dustin? Yep.
Almost every day I remember something else that we've lost. Because there's so many pictures and so many memories that are gone. That I would rather have my family than my house. Because my family's going to be with me forever.
I mean, but if you don't have homeowners insurance, is it worth trading one of the kids to not have to rebuild or pay for another mortgage? I mean, you have to think about those consequences. Oh, dear Christ. Stop trying not to laugh.
I used to think that you couldn't
You guys
have
are
a real
horrible.
Christmas unless you had a real tree. I've realized that an artificial tree can mean just as much as a real tree and be so much safer. A tree is not Christmas. Christmas is in the heart.
Yep, need some of that life insurance for building stuff.
Next.
I said, honey, somebody's at the door. There must be a problem. I ran to the front door. By the time I got to the door, then I realized the voice was in the house.
That's probably not a good thing, but who cares if someone's in your house? All right, so where's the motel toddler plunge? It's like the ice bucket challenge. It's the next big crazy thing that everyone's doing. Is everyone do the motel toddler plunge? It's hip and it's with it, right? Also, they did need to put the GIMP mask on. Is kids are very apt to touching their faces, right? So the mask helps prevent direct contact with the kid's fingers, which will be covered with germs and bacteria and shit onto that healing. If you've ever seen a burn victim, like 2nd and 3rd degree burns type of shit, that's some nasty, nasty shit. And it's very, very easy to get infected. So it helps prevent them from, getting infected. It helps keep the wounds covered properly. It also helps a few other ways too. Remember, he's a 2-year-old, 3-year-olds. So that age, it kind of helps for a few different reasons. And it's also very effective when you are playing Team Fortress 2. A kid obviously gets some bonuses. Well, I mean, the non-GIMP masks are a little bit more expensive. Plus, the GIMP mask has a little bit of a sexiness to it. The chicks like to see that. They kind of dig it. 2, 3-year-olds, they, how they are. And he was old school Antifa too. He just doesn't write about that in his biography. And the deluge of infants. You gotta have umbrellas ready for that.
13th, 1989, in Hot Springs, Arkansas. As a
Hot
pleasant vacation
Springs.
was coming to an end for Christine and Terry Kopstick and their 2 children.
That's true as well.
It was Friday the 13th, and we were on the last
Makes me
day
feel
of our
confident.
vacation. And I was washing up the breakfast dishes, and the children, Kimberly and Ross, were sitting in on the couch watching cartoons.
We just got copyright struck for that
He's
cartoon
not
clip.
afraid of water. He's not afraid of heights. The child has no fear.
Let's take a plunge, baby.
During the family's one-week stay at the resort, 2.5-year-old Ross Kopstick often
That's what
spent
that's
time
my
watching
literal
the ducks
face at
that
the
swam
time.
in the pond 3 stories below.
I asked Christine where Ross was, and she said, well, he's in there watching TV with Kimberly.
I don't see him.
He was just there.
Ooh, it's pretty. Damn it. No, you can't throw the baby.
Ross? Ross?
He's calling throughout the condo, Ross, where are you, Ross? And we thought he was playing a game on us, or he'd gone into the bathroom, or just toddling around.
He's just on the couch, honey.
I thought, well, maybe he'd gotten out the door when I went out to the car, so I told Christine I was going to go out and see if he got out.
Ross?
Lyndall and Connie Smith and their son Kendall were enjoying a morning walk around the pond when something caught Lyndall's eye.
What is that out there? I spotted something floating out in the water. It looked like maybe a towel or someone's piece of garment or clothes. And I asked my wife, so, what is that? No luck at all, huh?
Lyndall, that's the baby.
What?
That's the baby.
Couldn't really believe that it was, but it looked like a baby. I thought maybe it's a doll, a stuffed doll that's fell in the water.
Here.
It was just a chance that it was a human being. Anything was going to be done, any chance of life, there wasn't any time to waste. All the time I thought, well, it's surely not a baby. I think it's surely it's a doll. I hope it's a doll. When I lifted it up out of the water, the face was white and puffy.
That
had no
Chad
life
dive.
whatsoever.
That was a Chad ass dive.
In my mind, a baby is obviously dead.
I just ran into the building. I said, just call an ambulance, you know. Baby's drowned out here.
When we continue,
Sorry, my VHS tape is
paramedic
fucking
Frank
up.
Scott and his partner responded to the call.
We always make mental pictures of what possibly happened and what to expect when you get there. On the way, you might think of your own kids. And kind of sends shivers through you.
I continued looking through the condo for him, calling for him. And for some reason, I went into our bedroom, the master bedroom of the unit, and I pulled back the curtains.
Yeah, I had to hit pause on the recording. You know how it
And they
works.
were lifting Ross's body out of the water. And about that time, I saw my husband down there, and I
You
just
make me
screamed.
laugh at the wrong time.
He was pale, and not breathing, and his lips were blue. He was very limp. It was like he was dead.
Terry asked if anyone there could do CPR, but no one in the crowd had any training.
Even though I knew how to do CPR because we'd taken a class, I didn't want to be the one to have to do it on my own son. You know, I didn't want to have to be depended on to be the one to bring him back. I know I didn't do CPR right. You know, you're supposed to check for a heartbeat first. I didn't do that, but I did what I had to do, or did what I could do. I continued to breathe, and I could hear Christine screaming.
Gotta work his heart. Gotta work his heart.
I grabbed a hold of her by the shoulders and shook her for a second and said, you got to do it.
Yeah,
I was
break them
giving
ribs.
air. To me, that was more than I thought I could do, even at that point. I couldn't do both.
I didn't know what to do. I was
Well, you cannot do chest compressions in such a... God damn it, Colonel Crayon. I was going to say you cannot do such shitty chest compressions with bending your arms like that. You need to, like, for an adult at least, you need to, like, lock your elbows and, like, lean into it. Like, you want to put your weight into it. You're trying to get a chest cavity to, you know, go down a bit, several inches. You need that movement for a child. So, like, up to like 8, I think it's like 8 to 10 years old, you're supposed to use one hand. And then for like an infant, you're supposed to use a couple fingers to do chest compressions. Normally for bystander CPR, they teach you just to do chest compressions nowadays. Yeah, I know, right? That's like a 2 or 3-year-old, right? You're supposed to use like a hand at most. That bitch is, well, she's doing shitty chest compressions, thankfully. Yeah, but the thing is it's the mom and she is panicking, but her panicking could cause more injuries. The kid's already drowned. All right, I'm gonna ban you from this chat. I will mute you. I can do it. Yeah, you want to use 2 or 3 fingers on like an infant. Use like the palm of your hand, just one hand, and don't do, you only want a couple inches of chest movement. You don't want too much. You just need it to move enough to pump the blood. Okay, I'm gonna permanently ban the shark emoji in chat whenever I get into my moderator panel next time. So let me resume the video here so we can see how to do the motel toddler plunge challenge.
I was a lunatic. I was everything.
You're acting like a lunatic.
At that point,
yeah,
I thought that there was no chance. I thought between the fall and drowning that he was gone. That we wouldn't be able to bring him back. And I just couldn't bear that thought.
2 resort employees who were working nearby came to help. Landscaper Jim Birch had taken CPR training.
He took Ross and turned him over. A lot of water and garbage came out. It was about that time that we first heard a sound from him, just kind of a real faint whine. He started breathing a little bit, and he started coming around.
Check his pulse.
When I heard him moaning and groaning, I knew he was at least alive and had a chance. Some sensibility kicked into me, and I asked who pulled him out, and someone pointed to a man back behind me. And I ran over there, and I just threw my arms around him, and I just hugged onto him, and I said, thank you.
Within 7 minutes, the first of 2 ambulance crews arrived on the scene to begin treating Ross.
And I said, Terry, he's all broken up inside. I know he's got all kinds of internal injuries. And Terry said, that wouldn't happen from a drowning. That just would happen. I said, Terry, he fell from 3 floors up, and I pointed to the window.
That's not that much.
I looked up at the window and saw the screen hanging halfway out. All of a sudden, he's back in possibly a critical situation. Getting him breathing again suddenly seemed like the minor thing. It was what's wrong inside now.
Doing okay? My first concern was the spinal cord being fallen, and then other injuries he possibly could have received from CPR. We put the cervical collar on him, rolled him onto the long spine board, and immobilized him.
We just bought those pants.
The paramedics, they just kept wrapping him with more and more things to steady him. They were afraid his back might be broken. And then they took him into the ambulance, and they put oxygen on him. They put heart monitors on him. They had all kinds of things. And I just kept praying. I said, please, God, don't let me lose him.
Pause him real quick. Justin asked, is this actual footage reenacted? Rescue 911 did a lot of, they used to use pretty much all the time when possible the real 911 calls. They would do reenactments at the same locations if possible. They would try to use the same people who were like the people who were involved, if possible, if they were willing to participate in the reenactments. So like the moms, the dads, the kids, the victims, the firefighters, they would actually have them all come on to do the reenactment. It was actually one of the really neat things about Rescue 911 is you would see the people reliving basically one of their worst nightmares and then telling the story of it all in the same, 8-10 minutes of this shit going down. Like you're watching it happen on the show. But, yeah, basically with less words, they use 911 audio tape, but sometimes they have actual footage. Usually it will say actual footage of the event, but most of the time it's reenactments, but they'll use the same people like that were involved if possible.
Ross was taken to National Park Medical Center, where he underwent a battery of tests.
That too. It does look really real.
The doctor came out, and this is 6 hours later, and they said, we've done everything we possibly can. We've run every x-ray we can. We can't find anything wrong.
Do you trust that they did their job right?
We hugged each other. We said, this is great.
Ross was kept in the hospital for observation. After 2 days, he was released.
For him to come away from it to be totally fine, it's almost like a dream. It had to be a miracle of some kind that he was up and around.
In the years since the accident, Ross 𝗏𝗏𝐽𝐽 and his family have grown close to Lyndall and Connie and Kendall Smith.
The Smiths had not been around there and saw him. They were the only ones around. Who knows, it may have been too late by the time we finally realized it.
I think Lyndall and Connie, they've always been special people since we've met them. They think they were meant to find Ross so that we could create a special relationship. And I hope we always keep this going.
It's amazing that he's alive. It's hard to describe how you feel about a child like that really might not have been here had all of the events not happened like they did.
He had his whole life ahead of him. He's just a little kid. He might be the president of the United States someday. And I'm just glad he's still alive.
That's actually kind of touching.
He was meant to be saved for some reason. That remains to be seen. We're going to have to wait for Ross to grow up.
Okay. Hey, he was just a kid back in the 90s, so I mean, he's still possible. You can't be president until you're 35 anyway. Ross 2024. Say. I know, right? He kissed mom on the lips, gay. Yeah, and you have to be 35 anyway to run for president. Now, we can watch one more if you guys want to. I can pull up one more. I was thinking Snowplow buries a kid. It's like a young kid, like a toddler. You guys want to see a snowplow bury a child in snow? Since we're watching awful things happen to young children tonight. Yeah, come on, Boomer. Okay, yes, we want to watch more toddler torture thingies like that. I'm assuming. Hey, no fighting, children. No fighting. No fighting in the chat. I want 1 3-year-old. Which one's that? You mean the mom choking on a cough drop? I want to see what the dramatic reenact. Okay, that actually sounds interesting. So yeah, we'll do that one. Let me close the windows I don't need open. Okay, that's porn. I don't need that anymore. Or I'll save that porn for later. Okay, that tab's porn. I'll save that for later. Okay, that's the right tab. There we go. Gotta make sure. You get the right tab open here. Okay. Click on Chrome tab that says not porn. There we go. All right, so share Oh, let me rewind it. Damn it, William Shatner.
In early December of 1994,
You know
a
it.
series of storms dumped more than a foot of snow near Grand Falls in Newfoundland, Canada, turning the town into a winter wonderland. But for Mona Hammond, with the storms came a frightening reminder of how fragile life can be.
Frankie! You're going and have your lunch, because Kimmy's going to give you lunch. Mom got to run down the road.
I love having Frankie.
All right, go on.
He just makes my day. If you met him for 5 minutes, you'd fall in love with him. That's the way he is.
Sit here.
I never thought I'd have a little brother. Thought I'd be the last child. So when he came along, it was wonderful.
Around 12:45 p.m., Mona went to run a few errands, leaving her daughter, Kim Perry, in charge of her 4-year-old half-brother.
Frankie, you be a good boy for Kimmy. All right. See you later. See you.
So actually, I babysat a lot. Made me realize I didn't want any of my own.
That's open on my phone.
Can I go outside to play?
No, Frank.
Please.
Well, after you finish your lunch, okay? He was determined to... So I dressed him up, and then he went out. He's not the type of little boy that runs away or goes out on the street or anything like that.
Around 1:25 p.m., Mona returned to the house.
Frankie, Mom's home. Kim, where's Frankie to?
He's gone outside.
How long ago did you put him out?
About 10 minutes ago.
Frankie!
I just couldn't see no...
Goddamn
no
accent is so funny.
And then I saw his footprints. The footprints led from our back door.
Oh my god, that looks horrible.
Right down to the bank.
It's like
and then
footsteps,
there was no
wall of fucking
footprints
snow.
whatsoever around.
At 1:32 p.m., the call for help came into the Grand Falls Windsor Fire Department.
Bring your shovels with you.
Bring your shovels.
Volunteer firefighter Vince McKenzie headed to the scene.
When the dispatcher said, bring your snow shovel, that really struck me odd. You don't fight fires with snow shovels.
Hey, you do in Canada.
When Kim got a hold of Frankie's father, Ed Hammond, he immediately left work to come home.
What happened?
Frankie.
My wife, she was sure he's down under the snow. I think, we're all...
Use your words. We're big girls now. Use your words.
I could hear people in the background saying, well, we might never be
Oh,
down
right.
there.
That's why it's so funny.
You call it mother's intuition, but I just knew he was where he was.
I don't think he's spec'd for dual wielding shovels.
Did you check the park and everything, Mom? I think you should check the park to make sure he's not over there. I was thinking, hoping that he was gone somewhere else. He's gone to his friend's place, or he was over at the park.
I checked up and down the streets all around the block, and then I went to the park. And there was no footprints, not a soul over there. And I said, I just know I'm not going to find him anywhere else. I said, I know he's at the bottom of that snowbank.
I had to double check the house. Went over to his friend's place and never saw no sign of Frankie. Nobody seen him around at all. And it just started to sink in that he is down underneath there.
More than 50 volunteers had come to help look for the little boy.
Goddamn,
But by
50?
this time, he had been missing for more than 30 minutes.
I remember really feeling for the parents because it wasn't actually confirmed that the child was
Yeah, that
underneath the
technique's
snow.
all about cutting that kid's head off,
I
apparently.
was really hoping and praying that he wasn't there.
Frankie. I went in Frankie's room and I saw Frankie's toys. And I said, my gosh, I said, only a few minutes ago he was there playing with his toys. I grabbed hold of his teddy bear. Because
That's my
Frankie
teddy
used to
bear.
sleep with his teddy bear all the time.
I do too.
And I just had a feeling. I just said, Frankie, just hold on for a minute. I said, we're going to find you.
Crew Captain David Byrne was a 23-year veteran with the fire department.
I really thought we were going to find a body rather than
Teddy
a
bear.
live 4-year-old under this much snow. If not for lack of oxygen, for just weight and everything else.
Yeah, that weight would from the snow would make it really hard to breathe.
But my feeling was if this little boy has any chance at all, we're going to have to find him now.
If you don't hit nothing, don't shovel the snow.
One lady said, gosh, it's been down there over an hour now. It seemed like only 5 minutes to me.
That is a big ass snowbank.
I
I'll
said, my
give
God,
you
he
that.
would be still breathing when they pulled him out of there.
Actually, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Cold is good if you're gonna die, right?
Canadian mounted police
If you're gonna drown or do something like this, cold is good. You want cold. You're not dead until you're warm and dead. That's a saying for a reason.
Soft.
Right here, fire. Right here.
Let's poke the fucking kid with the stuff. Let's poke. Let's keep poking the kid. Is this soft? Is this soft? It feels soft. Let's keep poking the kid. Maybe he'll wake up and crawl out on his own.
We're digging about a foot, 2 feet, and then all of a sudden you find his hat.
Let me
It was
try.
such a large area.
Hey,
To
Bill, can you come try this?
Find the young fella was a miracle. Wait, I thought the young boy was dead. I moved the snow away from his face, and then all of a sudden he
Oh man, he's
blew
cold.
a puff of snow out of his nose.
Ice cold.
Frankie had been buried for more than 70 minutes.
It's not that long. Basic bitch.
He's alive! I said, oh my gosh. I said, that was he? And he said, we don't know. He said, but he's still breathing.
I don't know how.
When he was placed in front of us,
Give it another poke.
It was like buried treasure.
It was fucking Canadians.
Child, still breathing.
It was like buried treasure.
It was a good feeling.
After he was up to the ambulance,
Damn poking.
then it really hits home, and tears came to
Oh,
my eyes.
Jesus Christ.
I thought to myself, this could have been my son.
At Central Newfoundland Regional Health Center, 4-year-old Frankie Hammond was put under the care of pediatrician Heinrich Stander.
Just give him a hot chocolate, he'll be fine.
Survived underneath the snow for that amount of time with the amount of oxygen that would have been available to him. It still remains a bit of a riddle.
I could actually probably guesstimate why that worked.
Unconscious, but the doctor told us to get down and whisper in his ear. I said, Frankie, I said,
You're
Mommy
getting
and
your
Daddy's
ass
here
beat
now.
for
I said-
going outside.
I said, you're going to be okay now.
And the 2 eyes just shot right open. It's the closest time I came to crying there
They
when I saw him.
needed to do the reboot cycle. That's why his eyes opened. Simple.
Here, Mommy. Frankie.
I was trying to climb up, and then all the snow fell down. Kapoof.
Goddamn kid. He's got a really good positive attitude.
So quick, I couldn't breathe. I tried to call for help, but I couldn't. They couldn't hear me. They were too far away. Okay.
Frankie's doing great. No after effects. No nightmares. He's the same little kid. Same happy-go-lucky guy.
I'm not gonna lie, is if I had the ability to do the special effects, would be is when both kids got to the bottom of that hill, I would have special effects a fucking snowplow just covering them in fucking snow.
Frankie's over it, I'm pretty sure. Now it's a big problem for me and the mother to get over it.
There we go.
I try to forget about it, but there's not a day goes by that I don't look out that back window and think about how close we came to losing Frankie.
I think the biggest miracle in the whole situation is the fact that his mother had a sixth sense to sense that he must be underneath the snow.
Be careful when you play in the snow, because it may bury you up.
God damn it. He just took off. Fuck this shit. I'm out. Oh my god. I know, right? It's the sister's fault. The kid didn't do anything wrong, technically. And that too. I'll give you that. It definitely does know how to break the ice. I mean, that's probably a good story. Like, you think you can pick up chicks on that now that he's an adult? Like, so check it out, man. I was like 4. I was like outside playing in the snow. I was like, I got this shit, eh? Because I'm all Canadian. And then, like, this fucking wall of ice and snow just covers me up. And I'm in this shit, like, and it's cold and I'm alive. But all I can think about is, girl, I can't wait to grow up and meet you. Or some weird ass shitty story like that. You know he uses it. You know he uses it as a way to pick up chicks now. Or guys. I don't want to assume his sexuality or gender. Right? Sixth Sense, like the footprints, was an unsolved mystery. Yeah, I don't understand how you would need a sixth sense for that, right? The footprints end where the snow pile begins. Like, it's not like the footprints ended and then they like went off to the left or right. Like the kid saw the pile and was like, oh, I can't walk through this. Let me go left and let me go right. Slide to the left, slide to the right. He didn't do that. He didn't cha-cha real smooth. He got covered real smooth with ice. So, you know, apparently mom needs a sixth sense to parent, because if we go back to an hour and a half ago, actually, it would be, an hour and a half or 2 hours ago, we were talking about horrible, shitty parents and grandparents. So do we consider this a win, or do we consider this do we call this even Stevens for either the kid, because they came out alive, kind of unharmed, unscathed, really, right? But we look at Sophie's case and it's like she's not unharmed or unscathed. Shitty parents still, right? Yeah, and if he wasn't under the, I'd give it a thumbs up. If you're gonna learn a lesson as a parent, you learn it that one fucking time. But sometimes parents don't get that one time. They don't always win. They don't always come out on top. You know? Also, I think I want to show this because it's something that's really funny and always makes me laugh. And I'm gonna clip the end part of it because it's always really funny. And I think it can be used as a meme. But I just haven't had the chance to clip it. But we're going to watch it real quick because why the fuck not? Where the hell did it go? This is completely unrelated. I just love that end part. This part. This program has been suspended indefinitely. Plus, that always makes me laugh too. Oh, did I do that muted? God damn it. Of course I did that one muted, didn't I? Let's do it again, because I fucked it up. You better not be trolling me.
I had to check and see if there was hair growing anywhere else.
No, no.
None on my chest.
Please, lady, you don't understand.
None on my back.
You don't know what you're doing here.
And now, my...
I always love that end part. You sick fuck. And then I think about that, and then I think about Sophie's mom and stepdad, because I think it applies very well to them. Stop. I would love for like a continuous like 10 minutes of that just end thing, and then just have that play. Yeah, I know. You're welcome. And that's your payback for your baby shark shit. So you're welcome. So that's the context of, let me see if I can find it. Oh, it's a Goosebumps reaction. It's John Tron watching Goosebumps. It was a Goosebumps thing he did. Yeah. It was like the wolf one. It was like a werewolf one. I think the video says it. Let me see if I can find it. It's from the part 2 of the Goosebumps review thing. Say. But no, it's pretty fun. John Tron's old shit used to be really good too. I know his new stuff's kind of a lot different from his old stuff, but I will say I did like his old stuff. So that's all I got for tonight. Thank you for participating in the early stuff and the later stuff. We watched a lot of Rescue 911 tonight, more than the actual content of my original part of the show. I think everyone needed it because it was really, really depressing to watch, or to watch that video of Sophie earlier. So thank you all for participating. We'll go ahead and, unless anyone has any final comments, chats, and screw you. That's not funny here. That's not funny. I'm gonna time you out next time in chat just for fun. I know it was just a last minute stream. I kind of was cooking earlier at like 7, and I'm like, I'm gonna go fuck off in my office for a few hours and do a stream. And I was like, babe, I'm gonna go stream. Actually, I'm gonna go masturbate, but I'm actually gonna go stream. It's just all on what you excuse it as, right? So, but unless you guys have anything, I'm gonna try and stream in the morning. I gotta double check my schedule. I may stream tomorrow. If not, I'm gonna try and stream another time this week. I'm definitely gonna try and get back on my Sunday morning, early afternoon schedule. So, thank you for the. Oh shit! Man, kid's tired. I don't know why you didn't get a notification. This is where you need to subscribe to my locals, right? Saying you need to subscribe to my locals. Follow me on locals. You'll get the notifications, right? You get the notifications for the stream. You'll get your notifications, real-time notifications. I posted on locals beforehand too. So you get your notifications. You can subscribe for 1 month for free using the code Sophie for 1 month. You get it for free. Hey, listen. I was only like 9 hours late to my normal. No. I normally stream between 11 and 12. So it was like only 9 to 10 hours late. So, also my OnlyFans is still having issues getting, when you get the email notification before I get YouTube says a lot. Yes, This is why you subscribe to my locals, because you get the email notification. You get the email notification. That's a good thing. So make sure you subscribe to the locals. Random question, but what's your view on the extreme male brain theory of autism? Extreme male brain. I don't know if I've heard that. I will look into that. How about I can do that, and I will give you an answer on it. Locals for the win. I do agree, but I will definitely check out that question of yours in more context. But outside of that, the other outstanding questions, I will play you guys out with the old intro or one of the two intros, and I will let you guys enjoy the rest of your evenings. I don't know if anyone else is streaming tonight. So, no bad baby shark. No baby shark. So, here's the old intro to play out to. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the morning. Make sure you check out Ken's content, couch.locals.com. Make sure you use promo code Sophie. I will check out the info on that thing. No baby shark. No baby shark. Take care, everyone. Thank you. Baby shark bad. I love how the beat drops in this. I need to come up with a rap for this or something. I've also spent literal hours finding different Jeopardy themes to use for different remixes, to use for different intro and outros, because why not? If I'm going to steal a gimmick, I might as well make the best of it. So... I hate you guys so much.
Mommy shark do 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 do. Mommy shark do 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 do. Mommy shark do 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 do. Mommy shark. Daddy shark do 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 do. Daddy shark do 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 do. Daddy shark do 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 do. Daddy shark. Grandma shark do 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 do. Grandma shark do 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 do. Grandma shark do 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 do. Grandma shark. Grandpa shark do 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 do. Grandpa shark do 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 do.
I love the handlebar mustache.
Grandpa shark. Let's go hunt do 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 do. Let's go hunt do 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 do. Let's go hunt do 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 do. Let's go hunt. Run away do 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 do. Run away do 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 do. Run away do 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 do. Run away. Safe at last do 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 do. Safe at last do 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 do. Safe at last do 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 do. Safe at last. It's the
Thank you for recognizing my trauma. No, we're not doing it twice. No. I did that much. So, yes, it does. And it also reinforces predatory behavior for children by going after and trying to kill something like the other fish. It's very predatory. It's dangerous. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and remove myself from the stream and end the broadcast. Because I don't know why I did that. You're welcome. I hope you guys are fucking happy. I really hope you're happy. I can't even right now. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's yes, sir. I heard that too much in basic. But take care, everyone. It's good seeing you. Have a nice evening.